Hello everyone, and welcome to Call It Crits, where we're back to to do some more gaming and playing and stuff. I'm just going to do a real quick jig around with my sound. I'm just going to get my Jay, if you could just check to see if it's playing on stream. But I'm just gonna it is. Oh, that's good. Just I can't hear it for me, and I like to hear it, especially when it's battle music and stuff. It makes me feel like I'm part of the battle. So where am I? There we go. Monitor and output. I should be able to hear it, so I don't know why I can't. Very strange. Oh well. I think we'll just say oh well to that, and I just won't be able to hear my awesome battle music and stuff. But can you hear any music on the stream? That's that. I just want to make sure. That our viewers, all of them, get a top-notch experience. Yeah. Oh dear. So. Yeah, I don't know why I can't hear it. Is it because I messed around with the audio earlier? So let's just go to my audio. Just Nope. Why can't I hear it? This is very silly. Oh, is it because of this? Maybe. Ah, there we go. I can hear it now. There we are. It's alright, I can hear it now. The only problem is... Just speak again, Rob. They can't hear you. It's alright, I've done it now. Speak now.
Or forever hold your peace.
Hey, fantastic. Right, I've got rid of all... I should really do pre-stream checks more often. Because, that could have been avoided. So, I'm going to start again. I'm going to give it a 5-second buffer. Hello everyone, and welcome to Call It Crits. The only reason I did that is because when I go onto YouTube later, I can edit out everything before it. And I am planning on getting all these uploaded onto YouTube for people to see. It just might take me some time, and some of the episodes of the earlier, where I was still getting used to the whole streaming thing, you might have a lot of issues with sound and stuff like that. So don't expect much from the first few episodes. But I am working on getting them all uploaded, and with proper descriptions and titles and all that jazz, some proper video editing. But yes, let's jump into the game. We're slightly late this morning. See, this is how we're slightly late today.
In fact, it's Tuesday. That's how late we are.
So I'll jump straight into a little bit of a recap for anyone that might not remember what we've been doing, or for the players, just so they can jump back into the immersive action that is the adventures in Accalia here at Call It Crits. So in the last session, you guys, just a brief interlude of what we've been doing. You've entered the Feywild in order to save the Fey de Santra, the ancient tree that sits in the middle of Ashen Oak, Haraldian's hometown. Save it from being strangled by the evil plant, I guess you can call it, the blood-needled shadow ivy, which the roots have been traced back to the Feywild, as well as sort of like wrapping obviously around the roots of the Fey de Santra itself. You've made your way through the Feywild, encountering an Autumn Eldrin village who helped you along your way. You also encountered Vilof, who is a Fey, which we'll come back to. An archfey, sorry, who we'll come back to a little bit later on down the line. You've also encountered a fairy dragon who believes that everything is their creation and their imagination, and you did have to battle the fairy dragon, as they thought that you were the bad thoughts. After not slaying the dragon but persuading the dragon, Badnar, you managed to then push your and they gave you passage through into the Shadow Ivy pastures, or just the pasture as they called it. And as you sort of went through, you noticed that the Shadow Ivy had indeed overtaken the pasture. Dead trees, dead grassland, just for miles and miles within this demi-plane within the Feywild. You pushed your way through, managed to find a way through by attacking the roots with holy and radiant damage, and made your way sort of like one bubble at a time. And as you sort of went on, you encountered some blight, which had been moving freely within the Shadow Ivy, and they attacked you from within. You managed to fend them off, and then encountered a drow who had been following you for quite some time, by the name of Sal. They introduced themselves to you as a Thorn Seller, which is hence the title of our last episode, the Thorn Seller. No one obviously believed them, aside from Ayla, who genuinely believes that Sal is indeed a Thorn Seller and is probably very good at the job, apparently.
I'm straight.
So yeah, you continued. You basically got yourself a good idea of the layout of this, and you continued along the path for quite some time until eventually you heard the trampling footsteps of something following you. You managed to escape it, but then realised what it was. It was indeed a treant that had been tangled and overgrown by the Shadow Ivy, which had essentially affected what would be its brain and had overtaken it and making it do what it wanted it to do. Mulrin, with having a great idea, decided he was going to run up onto the treant and cut it loose of the Shadow Ivy. And this was a risky move because the Shadow Ivy did retaliate, but you did manage to cut it free. The treant then collapsed within the salt circle which you stand, and everyone had to make a dexterity saving throw, otherwise be crushed by this falling treant that stands at about 12 to 15 feet, so not small. Yes, that was where we kind of ended it, with this unconscious treant in this salt circle, and you guys standing around its unconscious or dead, you don't know, body. So no one's officially... Actually, no, I think... Ash, did you actually do a medicine check on it?
That's where we ended it, because I was about to ask, do I do a medicine or a nature check? And then we ended it about
yes, and I will have said we'll find out next week. Which it was a good place
Stop
to
asking
end
me
it.
questions, Ash. Stop asking me questions about trees. That's probably what you were saying.
You know, I've been researching trees all week just so I can get all the surgery stuff right. You know. I haven't really, so anything I make up tonight is just complete bullshit. So it's like in Critical Role, Ford being questioned about boats and ships. It's it's to do his research, I guess. Anyway, right, yeah. We start off. You guys are stood within this 20 by 20 foot salt circle, and this treant which lays sort of flat out, arms sort of stretched out, one arm sort of like out to the front and one arm sort of like crushed out to the side, and it's like sort of dead it's dead leaves, some sort of hang off it, and it sort of lays right across, and you guys just sort of stood either side of it. You can only just see the tops, if a couple of you at one side, a couple at the other side of this treant, you can only just see the tops of the other people's heads. You cannot see Mulrin, anyone that's on the opposite side of the treant to Mulrin. You cannot see Mulrin because he's so small. But yeah, this is the situation that you are currently in. What would you like to do? And by the way, hi Fran.
Crushed Mulrin.
Oh dear.
He has not crushed me. He's not crushed me. Jan, I need your assistance.
I'm back.
Good timing, Andy.
I just sat down.
Good timing.
Jan, you didn't go anywhere. I need your help.
What do you need?
So as I am standing next to the treant, I'll ask the immortal question, Phil.
Mm-hmm.
It's made out of wood.
Yes.
Is it a medicine check because it's a living creature, or is it a nature check because it's made out of wood?
It's a living creature, so I'm going to go with medicine check.
Cool.
And yeah, I'll go with it for now. So yeah, give me a medicine check.
Cool. Because Jan is also a learned individual,
Mhm.
and I will be sort of asking him to help me, like, assess, etc., because there's a magical element to its existence. Can I take advantage on the medicine roll?
I'll allow it because you're doing it together.
Yeah. So, that is a 17 on dice, 23
23.
overall.
23. Not bad. That's rolls good. Pretty good. So you all notice that Raujin kind of looks back. He puts his hand to his head as he thinks that Maureen's been crushed, and then you just see Maureen's hand just kind of clamber onto the body of this treant and begin to do a medical check of sorts, sort of listen to the trunk. You go around to where its face is, and sort of like check. Now, with it being a tree, trees don't breathe in the conventional way that we do. Trees take in oxygen through sort of like their leaves. This tree has very few of them. It's got the odd brown leaf that kind of dangles off, still on the stem, hanging off from the branches. So it's strange because there's very little movement. But with a 23, you sort of clamber up to what would be sort of like the top of the tree, or the top of the treant, and sort of like begin to sort of look at the leaves, and the leaves that are still on it are still healthy, just. So it's almost like seeing like a person who's pale and blue in the lips, sort of like, you know, that kind of like there's so little oxygen in them, but there's just very little light. There's very faint heartbeat essentially, although there's no heart of a treant. So I mean, anyone that's viewing might correct me on heart of a treant. I don't know, but I'm just making this up as I go along. It's a tree that walks. We're going with that. So yeah, so it's barely alive, but it is alive.
Okay, so with that, is there any evidence of like these vines still stuck within the creature? Is there anything that's obviously injuring it still?
There's the odd one that obviously you've cut it free from the shadow ivy, so there's the odd one that's still stuck to it, but it looks like it's withering, and you can see like the tracks of where it had attached itself to the treant, still sort of like going up, but most of the vines are sort of falling off and crumbling away now.
Okay. In that instance, then, is there still puncture marks where the vines had obviously like burrowed into the wood?
With your 23 on the medicine, I'll say, yeah, you notice there's still a few, and they're mostly around essentially where you would have the top of your spinal cord.
Okay. That's gonna really hurt it. I don't want to really hurt it.
You do notice there's
Okay.
still a few of the blood needles still stuck in.
So first thing I'll do then is I will take out my dagger.
Mm-hmm.
I will clean it on my like clothing, and then I will reapply some fresh holy water. And I'm going to say to it in Elvish, "I'm really sorry. This may hurt a bit."
Okay.
And I will look over to Alar, the conclusive, and say, "Alar, can you hold this treant's head as still as you can?"
Okay, I will, my friend.
It's very difficult. This treant's head is obviously part of the top of its trunk. It's huge. It's quite large. So you'd have to, you holding onto it, you kind of put your hand on it, and you're like, if it moves, you're not going to be able to do much to stop it from moving. This is going to take more than just one of you.
I'm going to say I might need some help.
Do you want
Help with this? Can someone help secure these with me?
What did you say, Fram?
Should we paralyze it? Are we trying to kill it? What are we trying to do?
No, we're not trying to kill it.
We're trying to help it, because
Yeah.
it will in turn, I believe, help us.
Yeah.
So,
Now, what is your skill set, new drow companion?
inquiring information, acquiring information. Hiding. I'll be honest. It used to be a lot larger amount of skills, but recently it's gone down a bit because I haven't spoken to anyone in a long time. Murder.
That's fair.
Sorry, did you
mentoring.
say murder?
Yes.
Uh,
Is that bad?
Inside check.
Not necessarily. Depends
Like Griggs is like inside check.
on who it is you
Inside
want to
check.
murder. It'd be quite handy to have in our pad.
Okay.
Well,
I don't
thinking
have
of
my character sheet open. Oh no.
thinking of my background, that's good. I think that's a useful thing to have as part of the party.
Good. Yes, I'm glad someone agrees.
And not to mention the magic dawns. I mean, they're going to be absolutely vital as well.
Exactly. What?
I take
Oh yes,
out
those. Yes.
I take out a copper piece and just go, Ayla, hold this. And then I realise that I'm giving him money and it's working, so I'm just like, damn it.
In this instance, Raljin, you've just volunteered yourself to hold on to the tree ant's head as well.
Yeah, okay. That's fair.
I'm going to be standing next to Molwyn, and I'll be using Mage Hand to hold the vial of Dragon's Breath thing near where he's working. It seems to be doing good to.
Oh,
get rid of-
holy fire.
Yes.
Yes. From what you can actually see, it's actually it's cleared off the any of the vines that had attached it to themselves to this to the treants. So it's actually done its job pretty well, and the vines are no longer trying to get themselves into the bubble, which is good. So, how would you like to proceed with this? Raljin and Ayla, you two are holding on to the treant, aren't you?
Apparently so, yeah.
Okay. And we'll have... well, what's everyone else doing? I know that Maureen is about to do something. I'm not entirely sure yet. But, yeah, what's everyone else doing?
Can I investigate it just to see if I notice anything?
You can give it an investigation if you like. What exactly are you looking for specifically?
Just anything unorthodox about it.
Okay. Give me an intelligence, an investigation roll then, if you like.
One. Never mind.
Oh, was that a very low roll?
It was one. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It looks like a tree. A tree with a kind of a scrunched up face on the front.
Just as I thought.
Yeah.
Just as I thought.
Right. Okay. So I would like, well, Raljin and Ayla, you two are going to sort of hold it at both sides, just in case this thing decides to move. At the moment, it's like a huge heavy log lying on the ground. There's no sign of like breathing or anything like that. It's just a huge heavy log lying on the ground. With sort of like remnants of a face. It's got branches and obviously things coming off, and arms and what appear to be legs. But that's pretty much it. So you're kind of holding on to a rough log. Marvin, would you like to enlighten us on what your next move is?
So, first things first, I'm gonna remove the remnants of the needles. Using a medicine check and a freshly holy water dagger, I intend to burn them out and cauterize where they had wounded.
Okay.
And as a bonus action, I'm going to cast Healing Word as a third level spell.
Okay.
Because I feel that I may damage it whilst I'm doing this, but it's for the greater good.
Okay. Roll medicine check then, please.
That is a 14 on dice, so that's an unnatural 20.
Okay. As you do this, the creature does not wake. So it lies still as you manage to pull them out, and there's no movement at all. It's just like pulling them out of a log, like a big huge tree log thing. You pull them out one by one. There's about 7 in total, and you use the holy water. As you pull them out, the blood tips go from red to a black, and as the red actually leaves, a single drop of what looks like blood, you can't be sure if it is or not, falls off each needle. and then sort of like just almost evaporates before it touches any surface. You then kind of throw it to the side. They're quite long. They're about the size of like your index finger. These ones that are stuck in this, not Morwen's index finger, but let's say Eli's index finger. You pull them out one by one, and sort of toss them to the side. And after you've done this, you manage to cauterize the wound, I guess, with the holy water. There's no movement from the treants in this time. Give me how much are you going to heal it for?
Well, before I do that, then, like learn this information, is the treant dry?
Dry?
Is it really dry? Like,
yes.
Is it bark crackling?
It is quite dry,
Okay.
yes. So, in a sense, you probably got this from your medicine check as well, and maybe I could have been a bit more descriptive. So, essentially, in where a person whose lack of oxygen would go pale of skin, the treant's lack of oxygen and nutrients, things like that it needed, it's sort of dry of bark and and its leaves are dry and dark.
So with that, I will not cast Healing Word just yet, and I will pour some of my water onto it at the point that looks the driest, and I'm going to say, if any of you can spare some water, let's try and get this creature reanimated.
Okay.
I will pour some water and also pocket the needles.
Okay, you pocket the needles. Would you like to try and do that stealthily so that no one sees you doing it, or would you like to just go up to them and pick them up?
I mean, no one else wants them, do they?
I'm not particularly bothered. Maybe one for research.
There were 4, weren't there?
7.
Oh, sweet. 6 for me. Here you go.
Thank you.
They'd
No,
make
as a
handy little weapons, wouldn't they? So so you all start to pour the water, sort of like uncorking your skins and pouring them onto any particular part of the tree.
some on the leaves, but primarily on the driest parts to sort of like try to ease it.
No,
I
we
would
would
actually
pour it
like
on the
to go.
roots.
Yeah, for the
Feet.
roots, sort of the feet. Yeah, that's what I
Okay.
was gonna do.
Okay. So, some of you sort of like Maureen pours it on the leaves and on the top, and Raljin and I think someone else said around the roots. And as you do this, you do notice, especially around the feet, what you thought were toes, fair be it very gangly, creepy looking toes, they begin to curl around and move towards the water, especially where it soaks into the ground. The roots then begin to almost like stick into the ground itself, as if like rooting themselves into the ground and taking up the water. The water then begins to you see that it's there, and then you see it almost soak up. So it's not been sucked into the ground; it's disappeared, and obviously it's been soaked up by these roots. As you do this, Maureen, you're pouring the water on top where the leaves are, and you notice 2 of the leaves just on a branch just next to your head begin to almost like flicker upwards and fill almost immediately. It's like fattens up, not like really fat, but like a quicker version of when you water a plant that's dying. It just begins to almost soak up the water, and the leaf begins to expand, and you see the veins in the leaf fill up, and you almost see like blood pumping through a vein. On like when you're checking a pulse on a human body, you can almost see it throbbing as if it's taking in this water immediately. You then see, just looking around you, more little buds begin to creep out at the top, and every few feet, and then every few centimeters, they start to grow out, and more leaves and more buds begin to grow and grow. The creature is still lying on the ground, but it's within 5 to 7 minutes. Its head is now just a full bush of green that's just sprouted up so quickly just from the water that you've given it.
I'm going to say a little chant to Melora because this is something natural. This is something good. This is something
So you say a prayer to Melora. Yeah, excellent.
because it's a natural thing.
Yeah, actually, and when you do
Beautiful
that,
thing.
actually, you do notice actually the leaves on your sword and the leaves on your armor, they begin to sort of almost curl up slightly as well, along with them with the leaves. So they begin to sort of expand outwards and glow slightly green, slight radiant green with this, almost like there's an answer in a weird way. It dies down. They don't die down, but they kind of then go back down to their normal states afterwards.
Malrin. I'm going to make Malrin more than aware of this. Malrin, look at my armor. Look at my sword. It's responding to this.
Our actions have pleased Melora,
Yes.
my friend.
This
I
is
just hope that Shekinester understands.
yeah. Well, this is indeed a righteous and holy mission that we are involved in.
Most certainly, Aylar. Now, let us see if we can continue to raise our friend here. And now I will cast Healing Word at 3rd level.
Okay, how much are you going to heal it by, please?
3d4 plus my Wisdom modifier.
Nice.
That is 12 points of healing.
Okay. Let's just, Okay.
If this thing clubbers me into the ground, Phil, I'm not going to be very happy.
you take. Hang on a second. No, I'm just gonna find all of my d6s. No.
That's how Ash builds one of his nuclear options and brings it to the table.
So as you cast Healing Word almost directly onto the creature, onto the treant, it takes about 10 seconds. And you feel like a bit of a rumble, as if there's movements. You notice one of the arms on the side that's sort of laying on an awkward angle begin to bring itself up. Now, it kind of places itself down into the ground. Some of you have to sort of move out of the way, as it doesn't seem to be paying much attention to who's around. It brings it down and places it into the ground. You notice as it does, the fingers almost root itself into the ground. He then, the other hand sort of comes around, places it on, then begins to lift. Morven, are you still on the treant at this point?
I guess I am.
Yeah. So, unless you think to jump off, he's literally just going to bring himself up to his feet, and sort of like stands, takes almost like staggers as he gets up and just staggers to one side, looks down, and kind of you see his eyes open now, like two balls of sort of like whitewood oak, essentially, kind of open in his eyes with like a green iris that's in the middle. He looks down, and you can tell his blur of vision. He kind of looks and goes, who are you? You're not blights. And he kind of stretches and brings his kind of what is be his neck, essentially, kind of twists around. Give me just a dexterity. Actually, you can do it as dexterity or strength, Morin, to keep your balance, as you're essentially on the back of this creature now.
That is a 13.
13. You're sort of stood on a branch. Well, you weren't. You were stood on its back. But as he stands up, you kind of slip down, and there's a branch that comes that sort of down its lower, on its hip, essentially, that sticks out. You kind of manage to sort of like catch yourself on there and then hold on to it as he brings himself up to his feet. He kind of brings himself around and looks down at you as if he feels you on there. His hand comes down, and you feel this essentially what feels like a tree coming towards you. This huge hulking hand. It looks like it's going to crush you, as if he's got an itch and he's going to scratch it, and then he kind of his head kind of turns around and sees you there and goes, "Oh, sorry, almost crushed you there." Oh.
That's okay. You almost crushed us earlier as well.
Sorry about that.
You don't need to apologise. Are you well enough to stand?
Oh, considering the fact that I am standing, that I say that's I am, yes.
Good. You have been under the influence of very possessive vines. How long for? We don't know. We, as a
I
group,
would say probably about 12 to 13 months by my recollection. You kind of,
over a year.
it's not been a pleasant year.
This
I
only
thought
started
a few
to affect
weeks was
before.
bad.
This only started to affect the material plane maybe a few days ago.
Material plane. What's been
yeah,
affecting the
land
material
outside.
plane?
The vines.
The shadow ivy. So I'm from a place called Ashen Oak, where the whitewood forest grows in the material plane, and there's an old tree there, and the Fair Santra, and
The
it
Fader
started to
Santra.
die.
I've
Yeah,
heard of such a tree. Well, I know of her spirit that resides here in the Feywild. Beautiful spirit she is.
we came to remove the weed that was poisoning her, essentially.
And what is the weed that is poisoning her?
I
Very
just
same
vaguely
weed that
guessed
you
that.
were on.
Yeah.
You can see that he seems almost clueless as to what you're talking about, as if, like, you know, his situation is different to yours. That's how he is almost how he's responding to this. He kind of looks around and goes, "Oh no. I'm
Does this grow
terribly
here
sorry."
Normally.
Pardon?
Does this grow here normally?
I wouldn't say it grows here. More, I tend it, make sure it doesn't grow here. But it all sort of gone to pot, really, hasn't it?
Well, we are an expert team of gardeners, and we are here to help you get it back under control.
You are tenders too.
In some ways, I guess we are. I am Mulrin Orgrasp. What is your name?
You're still on him, aren't you? He
Yes.
kind of brings one of his other hand round, the one that's wasn't about to crush you, but kind of flops down to his side. He brings his other hand round and extends a finger, and almost like a lily type flower grows out, and he kind of gestures it over to you and
And
says,
he says, "I am Groot."
yes, says, "Alderash, tender of the impound pasture. Nice to meet you."
Alderash, tender of the
impound pasture. The lands and where you
The
stand.
the impound pasture.
Yes.
Impound.
It's somewhat of a prison for rogue trees and plants, bushes, anything that is too dangerous to exist upon any other plane.
Like the blood ivy.
Yes. This wasn't meant to grow here. It's not supposed to be able to. Something's gone
Tell
terribly
me,
wrong.
Alderash, do you remember what happened at the point of change?
Yes. Very, very much so. We were, well, me, and he kind of gestures out towards kind of like the rest of the pasture, as he says we. We were visited by a very sharply dressed fellow. He said he was from your material plane too. Said he was on a mission, and he had defeated something on your plane and needed somewhere to keep it. We told him that unless it was tree or plant of origin, then it wasn't to be here, and he presented to us a sapling. It was a dark-rooted tree. It emanated evil, and I knew that it needed to stay here. I just wish that I'd done my research first rather than just believing him.
Was this person's name Lord Osiren?
Minus the Lord. Called himself Osiren, yes.
Yes,
You know
he
of him.
is what I know of. He is the puppet master. Back where we're from, he pulls the strings. He owns lots of huge conglomerate organizations, and he has his intentions are to take over and monopolize everything and run everything. He has family feuds with members of this party. He was once my employer, not by I didn't volunteer my services. I was enforced into his services against my will. He is what we say a real sort of
Ayla
villainous.
doesn't like him.
Yeah, he's a bad guy.
And well, my companions here are really accompanying me on this. It's kind of my duty to to help you clear this out. My name is Raljin Arateeth Whitewood, and I tend the Whitewood Forest back in Ashen Oak.
A fellow tender. Nice to meet you. And he kind of brings one of his hands down, and the same thing, a flower sort of grows out, and he gestures to take it. Same as he did with you, actually, Maureen. He gestured to take it.
Yeah.
It's almost like you can kind of
would've
tell that
took it,
that's
by the way.
that's kind of his version of shaking hands.
And I take it, and then I kind of tie it into my hair.
It's like kind of like a white lily style flower that he's grown, and it does have a long green stem that kind of rests in your hair. Says so thank you for helping, and he kind of looks around. You can tell that his feet are kind of stepping away from the circle. You can tell he's trying to kind of staying inside the circle and away from the edges. He says, it's going to take an age to bring these lands back to what they were. I could kill whoever salted my lands. This is my garden.
Very good, yeah.
We can help with that.
Yeah.
Know who it was? Did you say that he left something here, Alderash?
He did. A sapling. And you can see he kind of looks over, and then his eyes widen. As if he's gesturing towards the sapling, as to where the sapling was growing. And his eyes widen. And then he kind of lifts up his arm, slowly creaks up as he gestures over towards where the huge black tree is that only some of you have seen. And it's almost like a look of despair on his face, as only he can see it and you guys can't because the shadow ivy comes up too high. And he goes, "What happened? Ah! I've let this get too far.
Are we able to help you, Alderash?
If you can help me uproot that monstrosity, I will be forever in your debt."
I am on your shoulder, Alderash.
If Alderash is an abomination, then I will feel obliged to assist you in your duty.
2 of you on my side. Good. Anyone else?
Why not?
They will certainly help you.
Yeah,
That's brilliant.
I like that. Yes, they will.
Hang on. Thornseller, your magic thorns will be used on this mission. Come with us, join us.
Oh, yes.
You,
Yes.
you have
Magic.
magic thorns.
Yes,
I
she
just
does.
shake my head.
They
I'd
do.
say-
But they
as-
do. They do. They do. They do
yeah,
though.
sorry.
Hmm.
As Ayla says, yes, they do. I just shake my head slowly and mouth the word no.
He gives you a quizzical look. Magic thorns or
That
not,
sounds like
maybe
li-
they will come in handy.
Yes. Yes. Magic. Thorn.
Well, we
Yeah.
can't let the little moonbeam have all of the fun, and I'm just going to gesture over at Raljan.
There is one issue, though. Try as I might, I can't carry you all across there.
That's fine. We've got a way of getting through.
I'll waft the open bottle under his nose.
Ah,
I hope it doesn't hurt him.
too slow. I've got a better idea. He stands up tall in the middle, and he kind of roots his legs right into the center of the circle where it's furthest away from the salt. And you can see him sort of getting taller. His legs expand to a point where his legs now and his hips are above the shadow ivy. He outstretches one hand, and you feel kind of a bump underneath your feet as the ground kind of quakes slightly. The salt circle stays intact, but then you see, almost this quake kind of goes below all of the shadow ivy, under the ground, towards the next bubble where there is a tree in the ground. It expands out in this direction and in a few other directions. You then hear a cracking sound, and you then hear as the ground begins to quake, and from 3 other directions, 3 of the once not living trees from the center of these salt circles begin to walk towards you. As they're walking towards you, they've got kind of like makeshift hands. They're kind of pulling some of the shadow ivy off themselves as they're walking. They step through the salt circle, kind of stumbling. But as you can see, they've kind of got shadow ivy on them. Alderash just says, a little help here would be nice. As he gestures towards the shadow ivy that's surrounding these trees that are walking in towards you. What are you going to do?
I'll wave
I'm
the
going to.
concoction.
What was that,
I'm
Grinks?
going,
Sorry.
I'll wave the potion at them and kind of make sure it kills the ivy.
Excellent. I was thinking different, but that's good. You kind of wave the potion at one of them. The ivy kind of backs off and unwraps. You have to run across the circle towards the other 2 and do the same thing, and the shadow ivy backs off. And you now have stood in the center of this. You've got Alderash in the center. He kind of comes back down again. His legs sort of shrink down, and you've got 3 other trees, not treants. These are animated trees, There's no faces on them. They've just got rudimentary limbs, 2 legs, 2 arms, and that's pretty much it. There's no sign of any face or anything. And they're tall enough to walk above. He says, Alderash just kind of turns and says, "If you're willing to fend off the Shadow Ivy as we move, we could be there in no time. Climb."
Yes.
And he,
I will help.
And
I will draw my sword.
Okay. And you climb up. I'm guessing.
Yep.
So what we'll do is, as you're climbing up onto these trees, we'll decide who's on which tree in a moment, and we'll take a break there, and we'll come back in about 15 minutes, yeah, we'll see what happens as you ride the treants across the sea of Shadow Ivy, and yeah, we'll take a break there, and we'll take a break there, and we'll come back in about 15 minutes. Is that all right, guys?
Yeah.
All right, come back at 8 o'clock. What was that? Sorry.
What just a cool mental image.
Yeah, I know. I know.
It's surprising.
Yes. D&D.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I'll take a break there, and we'll come back in about 15 minutes. Okay. I'll
Sweet.
see you soon. See you soon, guys. Hi guys, welcome back to Call It Crits, where yeah, just before the break, the guys managed to wake up an Ent. Not an Ent. I do apologise. That's Lord of the Rings. Treant, a Treant. Please don't sue me.
What is this Ent you speak of? Never heard of it.
Disembodied voice from the sky. Yes.
He said a treant.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Treant. So yeah, Treant, by the name of Alderash, the tender of the impound pasture, which is where you are. It's essentially it's, for lack of a better word, a prison for rogue plants. Plants which are too dangerous or deemed too dangerous to be able to live on in any other plane. However, they have a tendency to keep coming back, so rather than try to destroy them, they are impounded here and kept prisoner here. So far, there have only been 2, let's say, inmates: the Shadow Ivy and a strange sapling, which Osiren was said to have brought just over a year ago, and this is when things started to go wrong for Alderash, when this sapling began to get out of control, and so did the Shadow Ivy. So yeah, we'll carry on. So at this point, just before the break, you were all climbing a tree, and what I'm actually going to ask... Oh, sorry, I do apologise. Tree aren't... Oh, no, sorry, tree, because they're actually walking trees. They're animated trees, 3 of them. And then there is, obviously, Alderash himself. So, I will need a marching order, and tell me who's where. So, how would you like to go about this? Alderash is he's willing to listen to you, but he looks keen to go first. But it's
Okay.
and kind of lead the march. But it's
Which one?
go on.
Sorry, which one is the tallest?
Alderash is the tallest, and the rest of them are of a similar size, but no more than like a foot or like so in them. They're all different looking trees, but they're all around about the same size, and they just sort of come above come above the top of the Shadow Ivy. So if you climb to the top of the tree, then you will be able to avoid getting caught in the Shadow Ivy.
I'm just thinking about a good vantage point for my bow. So I would like to.
I'd very much like to be on Alderash if that's okay with everybody.
Climb up onto my shoulder, little one. Sorry, Morin, they called you.
They did call me Malrin. You may call me Little Grey One, though, if it makes things easier for you, Alderash.
Morin, little grey one. Both fine. And he brings around his huge trunk-like arm and in a gesture to sort of climb onto it. There isn't. I say that there's like hands. There's no like sort of palm. It just kind of continues going up until you've kind of got like almost like rooty branches that look like fingers. You can kind of climb onto there. It lifts you up and places you on what would essentially be a branch that comes off to what would be his shoulder. Essentially, that comes off there. Apparently I say essentially quite a lot, but someone might have to do go back through all the videos and count how many times I say it. But anyway, so Malrin is going to sit on Alderash. There are 3 other trees plus him, and there are 6 of you plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6 of you plus Lynx. So if you do that, it'd be 2 per. Well, you can get 2 per tree essentially, and 2 on Alderash, and 2 per the other ones. I think.
Okay.
Is that right? Yeah. 1 on Alderash and 2 on the other ones.
I have
Lynx
no
and I will be in
preference.
the same tree.
Okay, so you help Lynx climb up one of the trees. I'm not going to ask for rolls on these because you're going to be taking time to get onto them. It's not like a rushed thing. So you and Lynx, you kind of help Lynx to climb up, and well, actually, Lynx is pretty good at climbing trees.
Yeah, she's a cat. It's the getting down that's the difficult bit.
So yeah, you climb up. You and Lynx climb up onto one of the trees, one of the animated trees. So that's 2. Who else is who's going on the next one then?
I'll go the next one.
Who's going on with Grinks?
I'll go on.
So Grinks and so the 2 spellcasters jump onto one of them. You'll have to climb pretty high, but you do manage to get as high as you can, where you sit about a foot or so above what would be sort of like the shadow ivy line. So as it goes, you're going to be just above it. And so I'm guessing Ayla, you and Sal, you 2 will have to climb up onto the other one together.
Perfect.
Okay. So, don't try and sell him any thorns on the way, though. He will buy them.
Oh,
No, I am not magical. I would not be able to use these thorns because I have no magical abilities. They'd be wasted on me.
oh, oh!
I hope
see.
you get Spider-Man-like abilities from a magic form. I really hope
Oh,
you
well-
become Thorn Man.
I am going to very, with a flourish, hold one of the thorns that I just picked up, mutter something, and then just walk straight up the side of the tree with the spider climb slippers that I was already wearing.
Ayla,
Tells you they're
you
magic.
see,
I'm going to be waving the thorn like it's the thing doing it.
I'm just going to look at Malrin as if to say, not Malrin, I'm just going to look at Raljin as if to say, Raljin as if to say, told you so.
Okay, so Sal climbs
I
up,
like you,
climbs
Ayla.
up the tree via spider climb. Easy, easy, easy. Ayla, you climb up the tree, nice and easy. I'm not going to ask for rolls, like I said. And now I just need a marching order. So, Alderash is going to suggest that he leads the way. He gestures towards you, Grinks, and says, "You're the one with the magic bottle, aren't you? May we use that to lead the charge?"
I'll float it over to him.
His hands are way too big to grab it, so Morwen, you'll probably have to grab this.
Not a problem. I will do that.
Okay, so you've got that at the front. Now, I've seen what this can do, but it can only hold them back for so long. If you get into any trouble, please defend us. We are your only way of getting across this sea of black to our destination. So, if the Shadow Ivy decides to attack, you will have to fight back. Are you ready for a fight?
I'll dip the blade that Raljin gave me in holy water.
I'm going to cast Sanctuary on Alderash.
Thank you, Morin.
I would like to ready my crossbow and keep an eye out
Okay.
for things and realize that I have no magical weapons.
Yeah, you don't have any holy water.
Nope. No.
You didn't come prepared.
No.
Is
And
everyone
I've been for weeks.
is everyone else dipping their blades in holy water?
Absolutely.
Well, does
no,
anyone have to be
because-
aware of that?
Morin will pass over a few bottles.
Oh,
Could I tie my dagger onto the end of my staff with a bit of rope,
Mm-hmm.
just so I've got a bit of reach in case we need it?
You've got like a pole
Sorry,
arm.
this sounds
Yeah,
very familiar.
improv one. I've got some rope in my inventory.
What was that, Rob?
I said that sounds very familiar.
So,
For the chain.
can I just double check? How much holy water? How many crossbow bolts can a thing of holy water coat?
so it's a vial, and I'll say crossbow bolts, like the same as arrows, probably 5.
5. Can
So
I
you
do
can-
that beforehand, or do I have to do that as part of a move if
No,
I was shooting a
you'd
crossbow?
have to coat them beforehand, and it would last an hour on the bolts, and then after an
Oof.
hour, it would have faded.
Ah. Okay, but everyone else is dipping, so I will dip.
You will dip.
I will not, because I'm going to rely on my Sacred Flame cantrip instead.
Okay,
Ooh.
which does radiant damage, I believe.
Yes.
It does.
It does, which is useful here. Right. Older Ash kind of looks around and says, "Are we all ready?"
Yeah. So, just to clarification, would it be possible for Elar to dip his arrows, so 5 arrows and a sword, and be greedy?
Yeah, you can dip 5 arrows and then you can pour one onto a sword. So you'd use 2 vials, yeah, that would be fine. But you'd use 2 vials up. So make sure you're keeping track of how many vials you have.
I'll just write 2 vials used.
Okay.
If
How many
that's it, I'm
vials
gonna
does
knock
everyone?
mine down from...
So how many vials does everyone have left?
Minus
I have
1.
14 left.
14?
Oh yeah, we made a lot.
Yeah.
We made a lot.
How many did you pass me? 1?
2.
I would have passed you
Okay,
2.
good. Thank you. Thank you
Yeah, I've
very
got
much.
one left.
I'll turn to Sal. Do you need more?
Yes.
I'll pass her another 4 bottles of holy
Them?
water.
Them.
Hey,
Them.
Oh, them.
I'm
Apologies.
very
I'll
scared
pass-
them. I realized that there was a thing that everyone needed to get through this thing, and I have been surviving by eating the thorns.
oh
I
dear
will pass
God.
them 10 bottles of holy water.
No wonder you've gone a little bit mad, Sal.
One of Sal's eyes is twitching really, really hard as they clutch the little vials of holy water.
So, am I opening like a psychology clinic for Drow? Is that
Oh man.
Oh dear.
between Grinks and Sal? I think I may have a very profitable practice.
Psychology, you say?
So,
With
Not from
craft.
somewhere we find a couch.
so Older Ash and Morin are going to take the lead. He kind of just says, "We need to get to the Golthius tree fast. Destroy it where it stands." Okay. And yeah, the Golthius tree. I don't know if anyone knows what that is, but I just dropped it in there. No one asked.
Didn't I do a check?
Sorry, if you like, it would be.
What check would it be?
I will say an arcana or history.
Arcana or oh well, both of them equally good. Oh, okay, 19.
19. Okay, pretty good.
Yeah, that was a
the-
really good roll. I have a +2.
Yeah, the Golthius tree is it's a legend, a legendary tree or birth of tree that is said to, from what you know from just hearing it, is said to be born that of a curse, a sort of a vampiric curse, that is that's basically it used to be. Sort of like the blood of a vampire which had seeped into the sap of a tree, and cursing the tree. The tree was then goes on to curse the lands and give birth to blight and other things in its wake. So it's not good.
No. This is
I'm starting to
naughty
wonder if
tree.
a Siren.
Anyone that's played Curse of Strahd might be
Oh,
familiar
boy.
familiar with the Golthius tree. It's apparently a big thing in that. Anyway,
boy.
so yes, he starts stepping towards through the ivy, and as you hold out the bottle of holy fire, uncorked, the ivy begins to sort of shrink away. You're quite high up, so it does at the top and kind of parts slightly at the top. But closer down, it still sort of almost tangles slightly into Older Ash's feet. He turns to you and says, "I may need to put you down lower, little one. Would that be okay?"
Absolutely.
He brings his hand and kind of quite quickly brings you down to that same branch that was sticking out of his hip. As you do, you get lower down towards the ivy, and it parts even more. He says, "It's better." And starts stepping through as a pathway begins to open up. The ivy almost like parts as if there's like a bubble going around you, and it leaves a little bit of a wake, and another tree begins to walk through. Which tree is it? Is it Alar and Sal? Is it Yarn and Grinks, or is it Lynx and Raljin?
I think we should go Grinks.
Okay, you kind of as you sort of like say, oh yeah, we should go, your tree that's stood on just kind of almost listens to you and goes and starts walking through. Who's going next? Resounding. Sorry?
Ladies first. Lynx.
Okay. So Lynx, yeah. So Lynx and Raljin, you guys go next as the tree and starts following on almost like in a line of progression as you begin to walk through, followed closely by Alar and Sal at the back. Alar and Sal, you two notice as you start to walk through, as you're quite a distance away from the front, the vines begin to grow back quite quickly behind. Some of them begin to actually whip up and almost go to whip you. Both of you, please give me dexterity checks, please.
Uh-oh.
Is it just dexterity or saving throw?
It will be a saving throw.
18.
18 is, that's a success, as one of the vines comes up to it, almost goes to sort of like grow. It doesn't seem to have a mind of its own. It just kind of grows in your direction and goes to wrap around you. You manage to pull your foot out of the way before it does, and the tree jerks forward, leaving the shadow ivy sort of behind after you. Alar, can you give me a check as well, please?
Yeah, 19 in total.
19 in total. Same happens for you. The tree moves quite quickly after the vines sort of come up, and it does sort of stop. But as the progression keeps moving forward, you notice that the vines are essentially licking at your heels, and it makes you feel very nervous. Raljin, same sort of happening to you. The vines are sort of coming in from the side towards you. Two of them kind of grab hold and start to pull on the tree that you are in. It's failed its strength, so it begins to pull backwards and almost to a halt. Sal and Alar, yours suddenly stops as the tree that Raljin is on appears to be caught in the vines.
Sacred Flame.
Sacred Flame. It's a dexterity check, isn't it, for the vine? It automatically fails that. So you cast that. It breaks off, and the tree kind of lurks forward as it kind of pulls. It was already pulling against the strength of the vines. Give me a dexterity or acrobatics or athletics, your choice, and do it for Lynx as well, please.
Okay. I swear to God, if the cat fails. Ooh. Okay. No, that's good. That's good. So Lynx got a nat 20.
Okay, so Lynx is fine. She grabs hold of one of the branches and just holds on for dear life.
And I got a 23.
23. Yeah, you're fine as well. You kind of hold on as you kind of get flung forward, but the branch that you're holding on is a sturdy one. You hold on to it. You get a very sudden inertia as you're kind of flung forward. It's really weird. It's like if you ever climbed trees as a child, when the branch begins to sway. Only it sways a lot, and you feel like you're gonna fall out and hit the ground, but you've got a good hold on of it. But it kind of gives you a bit of a dizziness as you're not used to the motion. As there was a slight pause, I am going to ask Sal and Alar to both give me dexterity saving throws again, as the pause gives way for the vines to come back and begin to grab hold of you. Both of you give me dexterity saving throws again, please.
Right, okay. This time it's not as good, but you don't know, it might be okay. I got 13.
Okay, 13. What was yours, Sal?
11.
11. Oh, shit.
But I was wondering whether I could uncanny dodge.
You can uncanny dodge, yes. So you managed
I will
to.
do that.
Yeah. So you can use that. You managed to dodge it as on that, but Alar, you don't. The vine
Am I
comes
being
up.
attacked?
It's now wrapped itself around. I'm going to decide via. I don't know if you guys can't see my camera. I've got a body dice, so I'm going to decide where it hit. Where it grabbed. It wraps around your left hand. So whatever weapon, shield, or anything is in your left hand is currently useless as it wraps around your left hand and begins to pull you down.
I'm right-handed. It's my shield.
Okay, so your shield is pulled away from you. What would you like to do, Ayla? Or Sal? It's your tree.
I want. I want to. Can we do a full action?
I'm going to say that you can here. Yes.
Look, Phil, just checking. Is this classed as a melee attack?
Whatever action you do here, you can do. You can choose to do a strength check to try and pull yourself away from it. You can do an attack on it. It's one action on this. Although you do get 2 attacks, so you can use both. But it's
What I'm trying to, because I've got certain things I can do.
Yes.
And one of them is when a creature. It's not damaged me though, has it?
No, it's not damaged you yet. No, it's trying to pull you out the tree.
And it's not missed me. So that's 2 of the things I can't use. Can I try and just pull my shield back?
Give me a strength check.
Oh, I'm good at this. Is this a strength? Just a straight strength roll?
Yeah, just a straight strength check, and I've got a base DC here for you.
Okay, so strength I get +3. Oh crumbs!
Oh, that's
It's a 10.
It's a 10. That is not enough to succeed. You try to pull back, but the vine's already pulling you. As you try to pull, your shield gets caught in one of the branches, and you go to topple, and you are now. Go on, Sal. What's your reaction?
Okay. First of all, a reaction. Shit. Well, can I do an attack as a reaction, or?
Well, you can act in this situation. This is all happening very quickly. So you've had your save, and now you've got like an action, and your action at the moment is going to obviously to react to this. So what would you like to do?
Well, seeing as it's really quick, I'm gonna sort of jump forward and just try and grab him so he doesn't fall off the tree.
Okay, so you jump forward and grab him.
Be good.
Okay, now I'm going to need you to make a strength check to see if you can hold Ayla in the tree.
Oh boy. Well, Ayla, you shared your tree with the right drow because I got a, let's see, -1. 13.
13. Okay, the good news is, Ayla, you've managed to hold Ayla in the tree. The bad news is, barely. And your tree has made a halt. Raljin, you notice, Raljin and Lynx, you guys notice that the tree that Ayla and Sal are in is now beginning. You can see the legs of it are now being wrapped up in the shadow ivy, and Ayla is being pulled towards the shadow ivy floor, and Sal is holding on to Ayla, trying to stop him from falling in.
You seem to be quite weighty.
Okay. First off, I'm going to shout to Ayla and Sal. I'm going to shout, "Hold on tight."
No kidding.
And then I'm going to cast Sacred Flame at the roots around the shield.
Okay. Just so you know, as you shout that, Grinks, Yarn, and Molrin, you all hear that. As you know, as the progression's moving forward, there's quite a distance, but you do hear Raljin shout at that, and you cast Sacred Flame towards the around the shield. I will say in this, there's no dexterity check for the vines, but I will say, because they are attached to Ayla, can you make a dex save, please, so it doesn't damage you?
Dexterity saving throw. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay. Right, so +3 on whatever I roll, I believe. Right, this dice is going to dice Jerry if it lets me down again. Oh no, 18 +3 is 21.
That is enough to succeed, I would imagine. So yeah. As you kind of hear Raljin shout, "Hold on!" you look around and you see him casting Sacred Flame. He fires it towards the roots. You manage to turn your shield so that it hits the roots that are wrapped around your hand. They then break and shatter, kind of crumble around, and then you and Sal both fly back into the tree as the tree kind of is still sort of wrapped in, but you kind of pull back in towards the tree. I'm not going to ask for a save. You're holding on fine, but the tree is now stopped. Everyone else, you've just heard this all going on. Alderash just kind of also noticed this going on and says, "We might want to help your friends." He turns around and says, he kind of goes to walk towards the middle. He's moving past around the other one, so that as he does, the holy fire is holding back the vines as he moves. Might want to act quick. Right, Malrin, Grinks, Jan, what would either one of you guys like to do? You can either choose. Oh, go on then, Malrin. Go on.
Well, sorry. Let's go through who's already made their way through, because Malrin's still holding open.
Yes, well, Alderash has taken it upon himself to leave the progression and walk around to try and help the situation. So he's kind of moved past Grinks, and he's just kind of in between where Grinks and Yarn's tree is and Raljin's tree. So he's kind of moved around that way to help the tree that's at the back with Sal and Alar on. So, you guys are kind of in a bit of a weird triangle with the other tree stuck at the back. So it's up to you. I can get you guys to roll to see who acts first, or you can just decide for yourselves. It's up to you.
I'll let you guys act first. I don't mind.
Okay, so Grinks and Jan, you both are witnessing this as well. Would one of you like to do anything at this point?
How close are we to...
Okay, so you're about... Sorry, I haven't got a map for this bit, but you're about 20 foot away.
Okay, I'm going to throw my last bottle or vial of holy water and aim to try and shatter it against the tree's legs so that the holy water will spare onto the shadow ivy.
Okay, yeah, give me an attack roll then. So a range, so dexterity.
18 on dice, plus 4, 22.
22, easy. You take one of the glass vials, kind of give it a bit of a shake and throw it. It flings through and kind of misses all the vines on the way and shatters on the floor just around where the ives are touching the tree. Immediately, upon contact with the water as it splashes against the shadow ivy, you notice sort of like white spots on the black, which quickly sort of evaporate away. But then the shadow ivy then breaks away from the tree, which then takes a quick jerk forward. You, Sal and Alar, you both feel the inertia again, that vertigo, as the tree begins to move quite suddenly after sort of springing forward. The other tree, Raljin, you're on, it kind of moves, and as others in succession, yours and Grinks and Jan does as well, as they begin to move forward. Then Alderash kind of says, just looks at the tree, as if giving it an order, and just says, "Keep up, will you?" and turns around and begins to lead the progression again. He takes sort of like takes forward, and he's making a pretty good speed. As you're moving, you make it a good few hundred feet, as Alderash begins to sort of like make a bit more of a quicker pace, and the other trees are sort of like following in progression just behind. Then, okay, Malrin. Let me just in 1 second. Let me just get this. Sorry, 1 second. What's your AC, Malrin?
19.
19. It misses, but some red needles fly out of the bush. You can't see where they came from, but they sort of fly past and just miss your face as they fly off in through the branches of Alderash's branches and leaves above him. He looks around and says, "It's a problem. We appear to be surrounded." says we better make haste. Keep your eyes peeled. At this point, I'd like, just for the sake of this, because it's kind of an ever-moving thing, I'd like everybody to roll me an initiative order, please.
Is that one for each tree or one for each of us?
One for each of you. I've rolled separately for the trees.
Okay.
Unnatural 20.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've ever had an initiative roll above, like, 7.
Ayla, what's your initiative?
It is 15.
15. Okay. Just add this onto there. 2, 3. 15 for Ayla. Okay. Grinks, what's yours?
23.
23. Nice. Morin.
15 also.
15 also. Raljin.
Unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20. Okay. I do need to add a player on here because I haven't got Sal on here. So, 1 second.
And Link's got 8.
Players. Add. I'll just do a quick placeholder for you, and I'll do all your proper stats later. Add. There we go. So what did Links get? 8.
Yep.
8. And Sal.
11.
11. The rogue got a low roll.
Yeah.
Okay, and I've got those guys. Right. Okay. So, a lot of this is going to be reactive, but I just wanted the initiative order just in case you did quite well. So, as the progression's going, more needles begin to fly out towards you all. I'm going to go on each of you. So, Grinks, one attacks you. That is 24 to hit.
I can't do anything about it, so I'm not going to waste
Okay.
it.
So yeah, 24. So you take. Oh, I lost my dice. Ugh. Ooh, it rolled a natural 20 when I dropped it. Where's my d6s? Should really get my damage dice ready, shouldn't I? Next time I will. Come here, d6. There we go. You take 10 points of piercing damage as the needles fly up and hit you in the shoulder. Give me a perception check as they do that, please. 15. You just manage to see the direction in which they come from, and you can see something. You can't see exactly what it is, but you can kind of guess it's one of the needle blights that you fought before. It's moving alongside the progression as you guys move along. The next one, Raljin. Ooh, natural 20. Sorry, man. You take 17 points of piercing damage. As the needles fly up towards you. I think one of the benefits these guys have is that they have got almost like a bit of a surprise on you, and they're not rolling with advantage, but that's how I'm explaining that natural 20. So you take some needle blight needles to the shoulder, or actually we'll say they hit you in the back of the shoulder blade, and you just weren't expecting it at all. Jan. Oh man. What did you say about TPK earlier, Sal? Jan, that's a 19 to hit.
That hits.
That hits you. So you take 4 points of damage.
Okay.
I rolled a 1 and a 2 on my on my d6s, and then it's a +1. Ayla. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. That's a natural 20. That's my second natural 20. This dice is rolling extremely high.
Dice bit. Come on.
Okay, I will put it in dice jail for you if you like, after this. So you take...
What?
Double 6s. So that's 25. You take 25 points of piercing damage.
All right.
As the
okay.
even the armor of Melora didn't see that one coming. As it just shoots through your armor and causes 25 points of damage to you. Sorry, man.
I live to fight another day.
Molrin. Oh my God! It's not a natural 20, but it is a 19, so it's definitely going to hit. I promise.
Meets AC, yeah.
Yeah, I promise I'll put this in dice jail after this. So you take 5 points of piercing damage. And the last one, sorry, 2 more, Sal and Link. So Sal, oh my God, that's a 17 plus, so that's a 21. So
Can I uncanny dodge that, or?
You can do that as a reaction, can't you?
Yeah.
So that will mean that uncanny dodge, that just takes, you
I
take
got
half
half the
damage. Yeah, so you can uncanny dodge it. So you take 10 points of damage halved to 5.
Okay, that's
So, and last one is on Lynx. Now it starts rolling low. That's a 5 to hit.
She's okay.
No, sorry,
The
not 5
cat's
to, sorry, a
alright.
6
That is
to
all
hit.
that
Sorry.
matters.
Right, guys, just so you know, and I'll show it on camera so that people watching the stream know as well. I've got my dice jail. I'm putting that one in there just for you guys, because 2 natural 20s, a 19, an 18, and a 17 is just too high for you guys. So we'll go with good old Pinky. That's all of their that's their round. We're going to the top of the round. Can everyone just give me perception checks that were hits, please? And that was everybody. So everybody roll me perception checks, and I'll ask you down in a row what you got. I know that Grinks, you rolled, you're fine. Raljin, what did you get?
Hang on. I got unnatural 20. Oh no, sorry, 19.
19.
My bad.
Okay, no, that's fine. It's still enough. You see where the attack came from, and you can quite clearly see your assailant or its form within the within the Shadow Ivy. Jan, what did you get?
17.
17. Same for you. You see the form of your assailant within the Shadow Ivy, so you could get a clear shot essentially of what I'm saying if you wanted to attack back. Ayla, what did you get?
11.
11. Unfortunately, you do not see where the attack came from.
No, Phil, I'm too busy pulling spikes out of me.
Yeah. Why, you want me to end up looking like you? Cactus butt! Sorry. Look, anytime I can quote the Lion King, I will. So you don't see where the attack came from. Molrin, roll me, what did you get?
I got a 15 on dice, so that's a 21.
21. Yeah, you see where your attacker was, where your attacker fired from, essentially. Sal?
18.
18. Same for you. Sal sees where the attacker is within. You can see their outline. And Lynx.
Link didn't get hit, so you said she didn't need to roll.
Oh yeah, so she didn't get hit, so that's fine. Okay, so we're going back to the top of the round now. The trees are going to continue moving along at an extended pace, and just quick enough that the vines aren't catching up with you. Grinks, it's your turn. So you've already seen the silhouette or the outline of your assailant within the Shadow Ivy. Is there anything that you would like to do?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna raise my hand, point my ring at my assailant, and I'm gonna blast the fucker with chromatic orb.
Okay. Chromatic orb. Now, is that a save or?
I roll. So it's 4-inch diameter sphere. I choose what type of damage, so acid, cold, fire, or lightning, or thunder.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go thunder.
Okay. Interesting.
And purely because Raljin said fire bad.
Yeah. Yes.
So spell attack to hit. So apologies, guys. I've only done this once before.
It's 3d8 for a first level slot.
Yeah.
It's a second. Oh yeah, first level spell. So yeah. So it's 76. 17 plus 6. Is that gonna
23.
hit? Yeah.
23 definitely hits. Yeah. Roll for damage.
24 points of thunder damage.
Ooh. You cast out your ring, and there is this sudden thundering sound which echoes right through the pasture, right through to the opposite ends of the pasture that you all hear. It's almost deafening, and in the area where you hit, as the shadow ivy parts with the blast, you look back and there is just nothing there. Whatever it was, you either disintegrated it or blew it so far back it's just gone. Yeah, that one's dead. Definitely dead. Excellent. Raljin, it's your turn. Do you have any other actions, Grinks? Nothing else you can do at the moment. That's fine. Raljin, your turn.
Okay, well, it seemed to have worked so far, although I appreciate these ones might be able to dodge it. I'm going to go with Sacred Flame.
Sacred Flame. Give me. Oh, it's dexterity, isn't it? So.
Saving throw.
Hang on, one sec. Ah! Bloody dice. Right, there we go. That's a 4. Well, actually, it's a 5, but it still fails.
Yeah, no.
So, roll for damage.
Okay, so that is 10 points of radiant damage.
10 points. Nice. As you cast out your Sacred Flame. I love the fact that this rolls random ACs, not ACs, HPs for them. You cast out your Sacred Flame, and it hits the blight in the chest, and you see it, this bright radiant beam emanate, and just goes, and just disintegrates into flame as it sort of almost turns into ash within the shadow ivy. As you see it just sort of light up and then go dark. Nice. Are you doing anything else?
I can look around, see if there's anything else.
Give me a perception check.
No, that is... Actually, with my bonuses, it might not be too bad. 14?
Hang on 1 second. No. In fact, this one's rolling nicely now. No, you don't see the other ones. They're too heavily sort of like camouflaged within the bush.
What other ones?
Exactly. You don't. You exactly. Jan, it's your turn. What are you doing?
What's the closest one to me?
You only see one, and it's the one that attacked you. So it's down within the shadow ivy. It's almost running beside you to keep up with the progression of the trees, sort of like moving through. So you're moving at quite a quick pace. Of let's is it a treant? What's the speed on one of those? It's 30 foot per round, but is moving quite quickly. So 30 foot. So 60 foot around is what you're moving at the moment, and they're sort of running beside you to try and keep up, and they're attacking you as they're doing so. But you can only see the one that's running beside you, the one that attacked you.
Okay, I'm just going to try and make a slash at that then with my improv blade.
Okay. What's the range on your pole, on your staff? Would it be 10 feet?
Yes.
It's too far away for you to do that.
They're not sentient, are they? So my magic won't.
Yeah, they are sentient. These are blights.
Yeah, you turned one of their minds to mush last game.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I thought these were controlled somewhere else. Right. All right then. Okay. So I want to cast Major Illusion.
Okay.
I want to make it appear like the whole ground is cracking up and lava's coming everywhere, and just try and rail them off.
Okay. So, all right, I like that. Are you doing it all around where you are? Sort of like, so you're in the middle of this, and it's just sort of cracking up either side of you.
Yeah. So for the full radius of our event, yeah. So that'll be. Let me just check what the range of it is.
Okay, I love that. That's a great idea. So 120 feet is the range, and you can within a 20-foot cube. So you can get that around, sort of like around you, and sort of like the back and front of the two treants in front of you, front and back of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everyone sees this. This is a shock to everyone, apart from possibly Grinks, because you're on the same tree. You begin to cast Major Image, and sort of like it's a verbal and somatic, and I'm assuming you probably use a bit of Fleece as well. Why not? And you cast it, and either side, Sal, Alar, Raljin, Molrin, and Alderash, and everyone else, will see the ground begin to crack. What two senses are you putting into this? Because you can have two senses on this, can't you? Is it you going for sound and visual?
Yeah, sound and visual.
Yeah. So the ground begins to crack either side, and you see lava and like the orange heat cracking up from the ground. It feels very real and looks very real. And the treant, not the treants, the blights, the one that's especially the one that Jan you're fighting, it stops and backs off, and it loses a lot of its gain. And everyone else, you actually, the ones that are on you, you notice that yours do as well, and they all kind of stop and back off. It actually gives you a good bit of headway as you actually manage to move really quickly through this, and as because they've stopped, it means that you're able to move a bit quicker. Ayla, it's your turn. As you're just about to sort of like, well, actually, did you see it? You didn't, did you?
No, I'm pulling spikes out of me.
So you're just pulling spikes out of your backside. And so you don't actually notice anything that's going on. You're on the initiative. You do look and you do notice that everyone else is attacking. If you want, you can give me a perception check now, if you like, to see what they're attacking.
So it is 12.
How do you still roll badly even though you have advantage? Did you roll with
my
advantage?
My other roll was a 2.
Okay. Okay.
Oh dear.
So you see that you see Raljin and Grinks and Jan all sort of like attack out at something. Jan sort of like you can see him casting a spell, and you notice that the ground is beginning to crack up. And to be honest, in your mind, you don't know if this is illusion or real. It certainly looks real and sounds real as you guys all move through. But you as far as you can see, that's the danger. So you go into a little bit of a panic as you think the ground is cracking up beneath you, and you need to be moving faster. But that'll be your turn, because you don't see any other immediate dangers around you, unless you want to do anything else.
Yeah, I've got to do something.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to. What else can I do? All up for ideas here, guys. Do some.
Second wind.
Well, the thing is,
you can't see any enemies. So attacking anything you wouldn't be able to do at this point.
no, there's nothing I can do.
DM's advice: you can hold your action until something attacks you.
I'll do that.
Say that.
Yeah,
I'll hold my action.
Okay, so you hold your action to. Are you holding your bow or your sword? What are you doing?
So I've got my sword out, haven't I? Because that's when I was grappling with.
Yes. So if you're holding your action with your sword, so if anything attacks you, then we'll say that if anything attacks you, you attack it with your sword, and that's your held action. Okay.
That's only because that's what I've got out, you see.
Absolutely. No, I like your honesty. Morin, it's round to your turn. So you've noticed that the one that has just attacked you, the ground around you begins to sort of like crack up, just slightly behind you. But the creature that just attacked you, that was running beside to keep up with you, stops and looks at it and kind of almost like stops and kind of is taken aback by it. And you notice that as Alderash is moving forwards, it kind of gets lost within the shadow ivy, and it appears that it's stopped and is no longer in pursuit, but the ground is still cracking up either side of you. Is there anything you'd like to do?
Is there anything obvious as to what's making the ground crack? Is it the movement of the treants?
Give me an intelligence check.
Can I assist him with this? Are we in range?
No, you're not in range.
That is a 19.
You quite clearly see that Yarn is casting an illusion spell as you look around, and you can see that he's concentrating on what would be like the ground where this ground is cracking up. So you feel quite certain in yourself that this is being caused by Yarn.
Okay, brilliant. So, with that then, what else can I see?
Ahead of you, the path is sort of laid out, so you can sort of see that you're heading towards the big black dark tree in the distance, and you do know roughly where the blight is, but you do know that it's kind of stopped in its track. So it's your choice if you want to cast a ranged spell at it, or you can just think, well, it's not going to catch up now, but it could. You don't know. It's up to you.
Well, I feel like I'd be doing it at disadvantage because it's gone into a cover effectively.
Yeah.
So, what I'm thinking, how far away is the tree?
Give me. I'll let you have a perception check to see if you can determine that.
That is a 15.
15. You're looking 300, 400 feet.
Damn it, not 120 feet.
No.
Right. I am going to hold my action until we are 120 feet away from the tree.
Okay. And what are you going to do when you are 120 feet away from the tree?
A 3rd level guiding bolt directly at it.
Okay. Right. It's your turn, and it is... Okay. It is their turn before Sal, because they had their surprise round first. So they're going to spend their turn catching up. So they're going to run their full 60 feet, but they appear to be keeping a wide berth. They are staying around the illusion. They believe that this ground cracking up is real, and there's something to it, and they don't want to fall into deadly lava. So they're actually keeping a wide berth, but because they're using their whole movement to keep up, there's going to be no range attacks this round because they forfeit their action. Sal, it's your turn.
Good. Well, I'm going to imagine that Sal's been taking this entire time to very calmly and collectedly keep an eye on the blight that attacked them. And they are going to use their bonus action, Insightful Fighting.
Okay.
Which means I do an insight check. My opponent has to take a deception check.
Mm-hmm.
And if I beat your deception check, I get the effect of a sneak attack on you for the next minute without needing advantage.
Are you playing an Inquisitive Rogue by any chance?
Yeah.
They are amazing. They are amazing.
Okay.
So good.
I've rolled a deception check. What's your
Alright,
insight?
My insight check is 21.
Okay, they rolled a 4. So,
So I get a sneak attack if I hit this little thing.
nice.
Which
And
I'm going to try
Jay's
and do.
thinking, why didn't I play that Inquisitive Rogue?
Because I only had the basic book.
Yeah.
Oh, I made Sal for a Curse of Strahd game, so I was getting all ready to fight vampires and little monsters like this. Ooh. Okay, so with my crossbow, that is a 23 to hit.
Misses. No, I'm kidding. That definitely hits.
All right, so I get my actual crossbow and then sneak attack damage, which is 4d6.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh god. Ah, it wasn't a great roll. So
Oh.
5, 15 points of damage.
15 points of damage. That is
Yeah.
enough. As you take out your crossbow and with the holy, I'm assuming you've got holy, the holy
Oh,
water
yeah, I
on the end of
didn't-
this, you fire it through, and it almost makes a hole as it fires through the shadow ivy. The shadow ivy kind of parts in like a swirl. As it fires through and moving away from your bolt, and almost in slow motion, it goes through and pierces the blight where its heart would be. You see it kind of hits, and then it kind of goes still, and then slumps backwards and just falls into the shadow ivy vines behind it, just kind of hanging dead there. As the tree keeps moving forward and leaving it dead in its wake. Nice shots. Are you doing anything else?
Well, Ayla probably hears Sal start to chuckle in a rather sinister way. Just start cackling.
Yeah.
Uh,
Good.
That's so evil. So, Lynx's turn. I'm assuming Lynx is just going to hold on for dear life. There's not much range she can do here.
Unless anything gets too close, and she can swipe at it with her claws. No, she's not.
Would you
gonna
like
do
to
that.
hold her action if that happens?
Yes.
No point in wasting the turn, is there? Okay. So the progression keeps moving on. They're going to keep going, as is Alderash. We're going back to the top of the round. Grinks, it's your turn. You can see the needle blight. They're kind of running beside you now. They've kind of caught back up to the progression. You are, what did I say? You were about I'll say you were 350 feet away. You are a little bit closer now. So 350 take away 60. So 290 feet away now. What would you like to do?
Can't do knack all, so I'm going to hold an action with my sword in case anything comes within range to attack.
Excellent. Raljim, what are you doing?
Sacred Flame. Seems to
Sacred
have worked so far.
Okay. You can see that you can sort of see now that they're sort of like, there's a few of them all catching up. So you can spot one out of the crowd and you can fire at that one.
Yeah, so a dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh, yes, sorry. I do apologise.
I love this cantrip.
Yeah, but you might not love it when I say that it rolled a natural 20.
I still love the cantrip. Yeah.
It's no damage on a nat 20, isn't it?
It's no damage anyway. If they succeed, it's no damage.
Yeah. Well, yes, it's no damage there. Okay, so yeah, sorry about that, man. I've been rolling really well tonight.
Hang on. Oh no, sorry. It's only physical attacks, isn't it?
Yeah.
That I get a second attack with.
Yeah, it is, unfortunately. Sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Yarn, it's up to you. So the illusion is doing really well to sort of keep them off. They are keeping their distance at the moment, sort of keeping back, but they're sort of running beside, almost like they're trying to keep up with you, but they're keeping a bit of more of a distance, so they can get in range for melee attacks that you can see at the moment.
How I'm just having a bit of difficulty picturing whereabouts everybody is. Where is everybody else in relation to me?
So you have a progression going on. You've got Yarn. You've got Alderash, sort of like walking through the Shadow Ivy. Sort of like it's kind of like a sea of Shadow Ivy, and you're walking through it. Morin is holding out the bottle of Holy Fire, which is opening up the pathway for Alderash to walk forwards. The rest of the trees, I think you and Grinks are on the next one behind Alderash, continuing walking through this. The tree behind you guys has Lynx and Raljin on it, and the tree behind that one has Sal and Aylar on it. And you're all sort of like, it's a moving battle, so you're all walking through the trees and Alderash and the tree sort of following behind each other, moving through the Shadow Ivy at great speed, 60 feet per second, as these the Blighter basically shooting up needles at you from the sides.
Okay. So,
and what your illusion has basically caused this larval opening down the side, which is sort of following down the side of you, cracking open and sealing up as you go along.
So just to reinforce the illusion then, I want to try and cast a fireball in far enough away that it won't hurt any of us, but it will catch some, if not all of them. Is that possible?
Yeah, absolutely. You can see two which are in close enough radius that if you hit in a certain spot, you'd be able to get both of them. So is it dexterity from those two?
It certainly is, yes.
Okay, so you kind of, are you doing it from your hand or from your wand?
I'm going to do it from my wand. Is it too much to do to try and move make a plume of smoke come up in the middle of the illusion so that it makes it look like it's not come from me? If you see what I mean.
It's your illusion, so you can absolutely have that. So you can make so smoke kind of comes up and then this firebolt flies through, and they're going to make a dexterity saving throw. Oh, for fuck's sake! It's going to be half damage. They rolled a natural 20. I will put this dice in the dice jail as well.
I think this is just revenge for all the,
That's
obliterating your bosses that we've done so far.
I think so, and this is quite an epic battle at the minute. So that is my 4th natural 20 of the night, I believe. So yeah, roll damage, but half it.
Okie dokie. Just 1 second. I just closed my PDF. So just bear with me 1 second while I get the spell locker.
You guys can't hear it, but I've got battle music going on in my on the stream, so I can boogie to the battle music. I wish I could play music for you guys and have it on the stream as well, but I can't. It's really annoying. But I don't know about you guys, but even when I'm a player in a game, sometimes I put like battle music on in the background when a battle comes on. It gets me in the mood.
Half of 26 then.
13 points of damage. Yeah, you obliterate them both. It's enough. Even though they rolled a natural 20, they both managed to almost jump out of the way in time, but not out of the blast radius. So they kind of stop and jump backwards. But as the fireball hits the ground and blasts out, the explosion catches them both, and they both get just incinerated, and just bits of them just fly all over the place in every direction. As you do that, though, the Shadow Ivy that's in that vicinity burns back and then grows back twice as fast, and it's going to come towards. Well, I'm going to roll a d6 to see which treant, which animated tree or treant it's going to go for. And
attacked it.
No, because it didn't see. They didn't see which one attacked it because well. It made it look like it was coming out of the ground, so it just came from a random direction. It's just going to go out, and it's actually going to attack the one that's just behind Alderash. So that's the one that you guys are on anyway. So
excellent. So it's not my problem then. Brilliant.
Oh, no, it's still your problem. Yeah, it's attacking your tree. So Grinks and Yarn. The Shadow Ivy sort of like jumps out and grabs hold of your tree, or like wraps around it and stops it in its tracks.
Can I use my action that I held?
You can, absolutely. Yeah, you held your action as it comes out towards you. It's not been your turn since. Oh yeah, well yeah. So you held it. It jumps out towards your tree. You can certainly attack it. You won't get all of them, but you'll be able to lessen it. So give
21 to hit.
21 definitely hits. Roll for damage.
9 points of damage, but it is a blade coated with holy water.
Yes, it's enough to cut about half of them off, but some of them are still holding on to the tree. It's going to make a strength saving throw, personally, to get out of it. That's going to fail with a 3. I should... What? Anyway, so suddenly the tree that you guys are on stops and is held back, and it's trying to move forward and moving forward very slowly, but the Shadow Ivy's got a good grip on it. And obviously the two trees that are behind, Raljin, Lynx, Sal and Alar, you two, your trees have to make a stop as well, which will make things interesting as we move forward, but that's happening. Alar, it's your turn. Your tree that you are riding comes to a halt, and the Shadow Ivy that's growing back behind you starts to sort of creep up back towards you. Give me a dexterity saving throw first, please.
It's a 15.
15, that's going to be enough. It tries to reach out for you, but you manage to sort of dodge out of the way of it. So the Shadow Ivy is creeping up towards you, and you can see on two sides of you, how many are there left? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, there isn't 4. 2 of them have just been obliterated. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry, there's 3 left. So you can see 2 of these needle blights that now sort of like run and come to a stop. Either side of the... Are you keeping the illusion up, Jan?
Yes.
Yes, so the illusion of this burning lava cracking up around the trees is still up, so the blights are not moving forward towards you, but they look like they're readying attack as needles begin to grow out of their shoulders. What would you like to do?
Slash at them with my sword.
Okay, they're too far away for you to slash it with your sword. You'd have to get off the tree and into the Shadow Ivy to do that.
Could I not take a shot at it with my bow?
You can, absolutely, yes. Has this bow been dipped in holy water, or...?
I clarified early on that I've got 5 arrows and a sword dipped in 2 vials of holy water.
Sounds good. Okay, roll for an attack then, please.
Oh, yeah, so 18, 27.
27 will definitely hit. Roll for damage.
So let me just look at the old sheet. Aylar's pissed off. He's covered in spikes. They're all over. And he's just not having a good day. He likes battles and fighting, but not with plants. So that's... oh, great. That's a 1 on damage. So that's 1 plus 4. That's 4. 4 damage.
4 damage. It takes the arrow as you kind of fire through it. Same sort of effect that Sal's bolt had. As the arrow flies through the Shadow Ivy, it parts almost in a spiral. It flies through and hits the blight in the shoulder. It takes the damage, kind of wraps its roots or from its fingers around the arrow and pulls it out, and it kind of ding 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 down to the floor. It's not dead, but it's wounded. You've got a second attack though, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna ping it again. This time I'm really annoyed.
Okay, roll for damage. Sorry, roll for attack.
So 10 plus 9 is 19.
That'll hit.
Roll for damage. Oh, that's better. 7 plus 4 is 11.
11 points. Yeah. Second one is it kind of pulls it out and looks pissed off, and sort of like it kind of moves its shoulders and ripples its shoulders as needles begin to kind of grow around, ready to sort of like fire them off at you. You do the second shot, hits it square between the eyes, I guess, and then it kind of hits it and it kind of just falls backwards and is dead. So that one's gone.
I'm just gonna shout to everyone, the plant's got eyes!
It's what you'd call eyes are more like holes between weeds, I guess, on what would be sort of a head. They're very strange blights. Little blighters. So
Wow.
yeah. So that's your turn, Aylar. But your tree is still halted. Your tree is still stopped, and the Shadow Ivy is still growing. What would you like to do? Sorry, go on, Aylar, what are you saying?
I was just going to clarify, is this thing getting closer? Because if it is, it'd be worth swapping over to sword, but it depends on what the tree's doing.
Well, the Shadow Ivy is sort of like wrapping itself around the legs of this tree now, so it's going to be slowing it down as the tree, 2 trees forward, has just been wrapped in it as well. The only tree that hasn't been wrapped in Shadow Ivy is Raojin's at the moment, because it's in between 2 trees that have been caught in the Shadow Ivy. So that's kind of the situation on at the moment as the progression stopped. Alderash has noticed, but it's not his turn yet. So Molvin, what would you like to do?
How far away are we again? Have we moved closer to the tree?
Yeah, so you're about, I'll say, because it's constantly moving, you're about 250 feet away from it at the minute. You're not close enough yet.
Okay, but we've mentioned that the tree Aylar and Salaron
Yes.
is caught up in vines.
More noticeable to you is the fact that the tree that Yarn and Grinks are on is caught up in the vines as well. That's what's stopping the whole progression. So you can see just directly behind you that Yarn and Grinks are in trouble because the vines have started to wrap around their tree, and the one further back, which is sort of like at the back of the progression, is also being caught up. Ralgin's tree has yet to be caught by the vines, but it's only a matter of time.
And Alderash hasn't been caught, has he?
No, not yet. He's you're holding the holy fire, so
Yeah.
you're quite safe.
Okay. So with my guiding bolt I had held, I'm going to cast that at 3rd level. That would waste the spell, wouldn't it, if I did something else now?
Yeah, so yeah, you'd have to so you can cast it now, because you had it held, you won't be close. You can cast it at something else, but it'll be almost like shooting it off. So what would you like to cast it at?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Because range would be based on the fact that even if I shot it at something that's more than 120 feet away, it would lose effectiveness after 120 feet.
Yeah. So your choice, you can turn and you can fire it at one of the blights that you can see at the outside, or you can turn, you can fire it at the shadow ivy on either the back tree or on the tree that's just behind you.
I will fire it at the tree which Grinks and Yarn are on. So that is
Okay.
66 of damage going towards it when I roll. Give me a second.
Okay. Because this doesn't have to make any save.
Well, that is a 17 on dice, so that's like a 24.
Oh yeah, that's definitely going to hit.
Cool. It's about to die, I think.
Okay. What's the damage? And I'll tell you how much of an effect it has.
24 points of radiant damage.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you look like you're about to sort of cast it forward, and you see the danger that's behind you. You turn around, and you kind of slam your arm down, casting it towards the tree that the shadow ivy that's wrapping up the tree that Grinks and Yarn are on. As it sort of comes down, it hits the shadow ivy, causing it to recoil in pain, I guess. If you can see a plant in pain, it kind of recoils back, and you notice that it also begins to loosen at the back of the progression as well, as it obviously has a long effect right through the plant itself. The tree that Yarn and Grinks are on, that begins to move forward as Alderash looks and begins to sort of move slowly as the progression keeps going. And the one that you're on, Yarn and Sal, it's starting to break free, not fully, but there's maybe 2 shadow ivy vines stuck to it still now, that's still holding it from stopping it from moving, which can be dispatched quite easily. Are you doing anything else, Morven, or is that your turn?
As a bonus action, I will just encouragingly shout, keep progressing. We
Okay.
must reach the tree.
Right, it's the Blight's turn, so there's only 2 of them left, but one of them is going to make an attack on... I'm going to roll for it because it could be anyone's game. Sal! Sorry, Sal. Oh, it's going to miss. This dice is better. The yellow one is good for you guys.
Oh, good. I was on mute.
Unless your AC is
didn't see my
ridiculously
reaction.
low.
It's a 16.
Okay, it misses, definitely. It rolled a 4.
Ooh.
Sorry, they didn't roll a 4. It rolled a 4 on dice, but plus 3, so 7. So that misses. The other one is going to make an attack. Roll random again. Ralgin, you're getting it this time.
Yeah.
That is 22 to hit.
Yep.
Sorry. You take 11 points of piercing damage. These guys can hit. They're quite low level, but at when they've got an advantage of range, they're pretty good. So that's their turn. And what they actually do is they actually start to after the turn, they start to use their movement to keep up with the progression, but they won't be able to keep up fully because once the progression keeps going again, the progression moves faster, much faster. But they're starting to keep up because of the tree at the back being held back. They are still within range. So Sal, it's your turn. The tree that you're on is being held back by some of the shadow ivy that's wrapping around sort of like the waist of the tree, and around it sort of like the waist and legs. So what would you like to do?
From where I am at the top of the tree, can I get a good shot at the waist of the tree, or would I have to move down and do a melee attack?
It's your choice. You can certainly shoot it with the with your bow. With your crossbow.
Yeah.
So you can certainly have a go at shooting it with your crossbow. That'll be fine. Or you can get down there and have a melee attack.
Okay.
I just might ask for a dexterity saving throw if things go wrong.
Okay, I'm just checking that it's not got cover from the angle I'm at.
No, there's no cover. It's fine.
Okay, so, well, since my last target is dead, I'm also going to insightful fight the ivy. So, the ivy to make a deception
Unfortunately, the ivy is not an intelligent creature,
check.
so
Not a creature.
it wouldn't work. Sorry.
Well, that's
plant.
fine. I'll just shoot it then. Whatevs. Oh, it's cocked. That's a 15. That's a 21.
Oh, that definitely hits. Yeah, roll for damage.
Alrighty. So this'll just be the D8. That's 8 points of damage.
8 points of damage. It's enough to break it off, especially with the holy water attached on your bolt as well. It's enough to break the shadow ivy off, and with that last ounce of strength, the awakened tree is, oh yeah, natural 20 for the awakened tree. Great. Manages to pull, and it snaps the other shadow ivy off it, and the progression gets moving again.
Nice.
You hear a call from the front of the progression from Alderash. Says, "We don't have far left to go. Keep moving." And he just he's going to move at almost like double speed now, and you can see he's kind of pumping a lot of his energy into this. So he's going to burst into a sprint. I will ask
use my
for. Go on.
bonus action to hide.
You can certainly try. Yes.
I would like to do that.
So give me a stealth check.
That is a stealth. 27.
Yeah. You look at the eye. You look at the eye line of your nearest threat, and you put yourself in between the trunk and the eye line, so you kind of disappear from its view. So you're quite well hidden. It's Lynx's turn, but I don't think nothing has gone up to attack anything. So Lynx's held action would go. Is she just going to do another held action?
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Trees are going to move again, and at an increased speed. As they do so, and as they go into what would be sort of like a sprint where they are leaving the ground as they move, everybody either make me an athletics check or an acrobatics check, and this is to hold on. And it's your choice, obviously, how you do this. So athletics or acrobatics, and I'll go down the list. So Grinks, what did you get?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You are fine. Was that athletics or acrobatics?
That was acrobatics. I'm just
Acrobatics.
rolling.
So yeah, you're just keeping your balance on there really, really well. But you're not even really holding on. You just kind of got yourself to a point where you've got where your feet are balanced so well against the headwind. It's great. Raljin.
26.
26. Athletics or acrobatics?
Acrobatics.
Acrobatics. Same thing with you. You get yourself a balance. Acrobatics. So you get yourself a balance on it, so that you don't really even have to really take a grip. You kind of hold on enough that you're riding with the tree rather than having to hold on for dear life. Jan.
13.
Athletics or acrobatics?
Acrobatics.
Acrobatics. You try to balance on the tree as it's moving, but you are slipping. And begin to sort of lose your grip. You fall, not off the tree, but so that your armpits are kind of underneath the the branches underneath your armpits. You're kind of moving up and down Sorry, I nearly lost my headphones then. Moving up and down, and really, really, really struggling to hold on. Grinks, you can see that Jan is struggling at this point, but you've lost your balance and you're only just holding on. I'll come back to you in a moment. Ayla, what did you get?
16 acrobatics.
16 acrobatics. So yeah, same for you. You're fine. You're held on and you're kind of sort of going with it and balancing on there. Mulrin, what did you get?
17 acrobatics.
17. You're the same. You're holding on for, so not holding on, but sort of like balancing quite easily. Sal.
25.
25. Easy. It's like you were born to ride trees.
Yes. Thorn Rider.
The Thorn Rider. That's going to have to be your title. Link.
That 100% sounds like a good title.
That does. And Lynx, what did Lynx get?
17.
Athletics or acrobatics?
They're exactly the same.
Okay, so that's I'll say that Lynx is fine holding on. She's doing okay. Jan, you are classed as prone for this one, and I'd like you to make me a concentration check, please.
Okay.
Oh. Did we lose Jan?
No. Okay. Do you get any bonuses for a concentration check?
Concentration is generally I believe it's Constitution.
Yeah, it's Constitution.
Yeah.
If you take damage, you have to match either. I can't remember what the DC is.
Yeah, it's 10. The base is 10, or more if it's damage is above 10. But you haven't taken any damage, so it's 10 you have to beat.
11.
You just managed to keep your concentration on your spell. So you are prone at the moment, holding onto the tree, but you do manage to keep concentration on the illusion which is going on around you, and especially keep it up at the same pace as these trees are moving really, really quickly. Right, okay, so we are back at the top of everything going on. So Grinks, it's your turn. As you sort of look around, you notice that the trees have gone into such a sprint now, or the treants, Alder Ash, and the other trees have gone into such a sprint, and you've got the wind blowing through your hair, that the blight seems to have been left for dust behind you. Is there anything you'd like to do? Actions prepared or anything else? You can also see that Jan is really struggling.
Yeah, I'd like to deftly swing over to where Jan is and grab him by his fancy cloak and drag him up.
Okay, so you give me an acrobatics roll to deftly swing down.
Oh no.
18.
Oh yeah, you're fine. So you sort of swing down against the wind resistance, and sort of like hold onto a branch as you pull Jan up by his fancy cloak. And Jan, you manage to sort of get hold of the same branch that Grinks is holding onto, and you manage to make purchase with your feet on the tree, so that you're no longer prone.
And then as I get his head close to me, I'll just whisper in his ear, "The blue one said fire's bad," and then go back to where I want.
Well, I thank you for your assistance, but please do be careful with the jacket in future. This was a very expensive cloak.
I can always drop you.
Wow.
Make it look like an accident.
I never thought we would meet someone who makes Ralgin look less pretentious.
I'll admit it was the right thing to do in this circumstance, but just for future reference.
Okay, that's Grinks' turn. Ralgin, what would you like to do as the wind blows your white hair backwards, as the treants go into like a full sprint through the Shadow Ivy pasture, making range of 120 feet every 6 to 10 seconds, really quick moving through here.
Is there any blights within keeping up with us?
No, not at all. They are completely left for dust at this point. As these.
In that case,
Go on.
In that case, I will stand dramatically and let the wind blow through my hair.
Okie dokie. Yarn, you are now off your feet. So you're now back up on your feet. It's your turn. Are you doing anything, or are you just going to go along for the ride?
I'm just going to go along for the ride.
Okay.
Do.
All right, Ayla, anything that you're doing?
Having a good look around, try and work out what's been going on for these rounds.
All right, perception check, please.
Excellent. Revenge time. It's 18.
18. Nice. You can quite clearly see off in the distance the Blight are desperately trying to keep up, and they're running at full sprint to try and keep up. And you can actually see, just from your vantage point, other lines where the Shadow Ivy is moving, almost like velociraptors moving through the grass, to give you a picture. And you can see quite a few of them making their way nowhere near you. But it appears that there's been an alert, and they are heading towards this direction as they move on. There's none that you can see to make an attack on, but you can see 6 at least moving in your direction.
I'm just going to say 6 more of these abominable creatures are heading our way.
Okay, Mulrin, what are you doing? As you hold out the holy fire and holding on for dear life as the Shadow Ivy parts, only just quick enough for Alderash to move through. What would you like to do? You might be on mute, Maureen.
Give me 2 seconds, I'll be right back.
Okay, we'll say that you just hold on for dear life as things go. Right, it's the Needle Blights, and they're just going to continue moving, and they are not making headway. Sal, it's your turn. Is there anything you're doing?
Oh, yeah. So how close are we to the big tree now?
You are moving really quickly. You are probably about 120 feet away, so you'll probably make it there by the end of the next round.
Okay, we're 120 feet away from it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember, but I'm assuming we're meant to kill this tree.
You are definitely going there to do something. That appears to be the source of the problem.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna stick with the blights for now. Yeah, I'm gonna insightful look at one of these blights.
Okay, they're quite a distance away from you, but you can. I mean, what's the range on your crossbow?
I believe it is.
About 100, I reckon.
It's 80 feet.
They're further than 80 feet.
Oh, the long one is 320 feet.
Oh right, okay. So yeah, so you'd roll. You could roll to try and attack one of them with disadvantage.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. But I'll do insightful. Oh no, there's no point me doing insightful fighting them, because if I have disadvantage, it doesn't count.
Yeah.
I will just shoot at one.
Okay.
I am hidden.
You are hidden. Yes. So it'd be a straight roll.
Give me sneak attack.
I think it does.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, hidden.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Well, I've rolled well. I don't think I'm gonna hit it. Oh no, the second one was really good. No, that is a 10. That's not gonna hit.
No, unfortunately it doesn't. It's too far out. It can see it just in the distance running to keep up, looking quite malicious in its intent. But as you kind of steady, but the pace and the as the tree moves, it kind of goes up and down. Really, like you feel really seasick as motion sickness as this thing's going, and you fire it off and it parts the Shadow Ivy, but it doesn't make purchase on its target.
No. I'm going to use my bonus action to hide again.
Okay, stealth roll.
That is only 19.
Okay, only 19. I mean, that's fine. You feel pretty well hidden. It's a formality, really, to be honest. Okay, that's your turn. I'm assuming Lynx is just going to hold on tight.
Yep.
Okay, so as we come to the end of that one, we have one more round now before you guys reach your destination. So I'm gonna say, by the end of this round, so you will reach. You can see sort of like the tree approaching. You're still quite a distance, but you can see almost like an open deadland, which sort of spreads around it, where a distance between where the shadow ivy stops and then the tree begins, which is which from your vantage point you can see is covered in sort of like dead hills, fallen trees, and what appear to be sort of mounds and things, sort of like in between you and the tree. So in this time, you can make preparations or anything if you like as you are moving along. You will be coming out of the end of this and out of danger, I'll say, pretty soon by the end of this round. So, is there anything you'd like to do before you leave this? So we'll go to Grinks. You can see the end of the shadow ivy coming up. What would you like to do?
I'll sheath my short sword and I'll take out my battered hilt.
Okay, sheath your short sword and take out your battered hilt. Is there anything you're doing with that, or are you just preparing?
I'm just waiting, I don't know what to expect.
Okay, Raljin?
I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Okay, you cast Cure Wounds on yourself. Roll for Cure. Roll for heal damage.
Oh no! I've healed myself to death. And let me just.
Why do I have an image in my head of Raljin taking his bow and shooting himself in the foot?
Oh, that's the stuff.
I can't remember what game it was, but I once modded a weapon because you could customize type of damages, and I once modded a gun to do healing, so I had to shoot myself to heal. Okay, so that's pretty good. I mean, it doesn't get me up to...
medic from Team Fortress 2.
So that is 12 points of healing.
Okay, heal yourself up 12. I'll move on to Jan as we're going. Jan, anything you're doing to prepare?
No, can I just make sure that I'm in a good position?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. From what you can kind of see, there is still a little bit of distance between the end of the shadow ivy and the tree, but it's just deadland. There's no ivy. It's a straight sort of like bare land between the end of the shadow ivy and the tree. So yeah, you can sort of get yourself sorted. Ayla, is there anything you're doing?
Yes, I am going to give thanks to Melora for us so far getting through this abomination and so far bringing back to life our dear friend the tree. And I'm also going to have a look and see what awaits us immediately.
Okay, you look and you can sort of see in the distance the tree sort of approaching this. It's kind of like a huge dead black tree on the horizon. You can start to see more details on it now, actually, as you know, it becomes less of a silhouette and more of a real thing in the distance. Still not immediately there. You're not going to sort of like jump out of the shadow ivy and suddenly be there, but you can definitely see it's going to be within walking distance soon. Morin, are you back?
Phil,
oh yes, go on.
Does my armour or sword react at all as I utter those words to Melora?
I'll tell you what, I'll say, give me a religion roll. Just roll the d20 and add your religion for me.
Okay, so it's a good roll. It's a 17, and let's just find out what I'm on religion. Just scroll down. I'm not using. I'm a +1, so that's an 18. 18.
Hang on. As you say these words to Melora, and the more that you've done this over time, your word speaks more sincere every single time. You heal up 4 points of damage as the armor warmths around you, and almost takes in energy through the armor. And you heal up 4 points of damage. It's not much, but it's almost like it's almost like a blessing for Melora in a way.
That's pretty cool. Very thematic. Like it.
Morwen, are you back? He's not. This session of Call It Crits was brought to you by us.
Yes. And no one else.
Yeah, we have absolutely no sponsors. If you'd like to sponsor us, then then maybe.
What is wrong with you?
Oh, you're back. Okay.
Is
Yes.
sponsored by Thorns. Buy your Thorns today.
Magic
Thorn
door.
seller. Totally a Thorn seller. Not available in the Feywild or any other place.
Comes recommended by Aylar Signoodle.
Actual testimony.
Love it.
These
someone-
thorns enable you to walk up trees. I've seen it.
Probably true.
Morwen, it's your turn. I know that you've got to go soon, man. So don't worry, we're coming up to a good point in a minute. So is there anything you'd like to do just in preparation? As you can see the end of the Shadow Ivy coming, and you can see like a deadland in between the end of the Shadow Ivy and the tree. It's not too far, maybe 100 feet from there to there, walking distance. But you can see it's approaching, and it's looking like it's going to be a dramatic exit from the Shadow Ivy. Is there anything you'd like to do in preparation for that?
I guess all I can really do is prepare to attack it.
Okay. Okay, you can absolutely prepare. What are you preparing?
I am not 100% sure. I guess a variety of guiding bolts. So
Okay.
I'll just be concentrating. Sorry guys, I'm a bit distracted. I need to call off.
Right now?
And I won't be on. Yeah, I do. So I won't be on next week
Okay.
because I'm away. But I will see you all the week after.
Okie dokie.
Alright.
You are.
All right. See you soon, man.
Have a good day.
Take it easy.
Take care.
Enjoy your holiday. Right. Okie dokie. So with that, is there anything that you, Sal, would like to do in preparation?
Yes, I would like to open the second vial of the holy stuff. And I'm assuming that this tree, if it's what's causing this stuff, it's also going to be susceptible to holy things, right?
Very likely. It's a nice assumption.
All right. And this is another meta question. If you cover a dagger with this, does that count as a big weapon or a little weapon? Or like
It would be the same as using one vial. Still use one vial.
All right. Well, I will stick to crossbow bolts then.
Okay.
So I now have 8 crossbow bolts because I used to use 2,
Okay.
and I'm gonna stay hidden.
Okay. Right. With that, I'm assuming Lynx is still holding on. She's not much she can do. Unless there's anything that Lynx is going to prepare, Rajan.
Unless she can somehow dip her claws in holy water.
I mean, you can certainly try.
You know what? Sure.
Okay.
Her front claws were going to dip in holy water.
Okay, so you essentially take the holy water and pour it all over her claws.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. So as you're doing that, the tree on Alder Ash is sort of running forward. Is for full sprint now. He shouts back, "Everybody, hold on! It's going to be a bumpy landing." He kind of runs sort of full pelt and almost like full bounds and leaps out of the other end. Because the other trees are all linked to him, they do exactly the same, and they all bound out of the other end, and he's just running straight through. So I would like everyone to give me one more, either dexterity, acrobatics or athletics check, to see if you hold on and not fall off as he jumps dramatically out of the other end of the, sort of like bursting through the Shadow Ivy. Everyone give me dexterity, or, well, whatever you like.
21.
Athletics. So 21, you're fine. Rajan?
20 lots.
You're
I'm
fine.
not sure on the lots.
Jan?
14.
You very similar. You lose balance, and it's a very bumpy ride for you. You don't fall off the tree, but you nearly do. You might sort of like catch yourself, but you do take 2 points of bludgeoning damage as you kind of hit your side on one of the branches. Ayla? Oh no, you've done you. Grinks?
26.
26. You're fine. Sal?
I was too busy dipping, and I got a natural 1.
Oh, Sal.
Yeah.
Right.
Can I try and grab her, Phil?
I will allow you to have a reaction to it. You will try and grab them. Yes.
Grab them, sorry. Yeah, 1-8. I'm going to go for it.
So give me. It will be a dexterity.
Ooh. I've got 14 plus 3. 17.
17. I'll allow it. It just met the DC that I'd set in my head. So as
I'm just gonna go. No, Fawn Seller. No.
As Sal goes falling out of the tree, you reach out your hand and you feel the guidance of Melora bringing your hand out to meet Sal's, and you manage to sort of like grab wrist to wrist, and you manage to pull them back into the tree so they don't fall out and severely injure themselves, because that would have been 2d6 damage I would have given you then. So you escaped one there. And Lynx.
Link's got a 17.
Lynx is absolutely fine. Oh, someone's got a very crackly back today. So yeah, Lynx. Right, okay. Lynx is fine. She manages to hold on. As you break through the end of the shadow ivy, the Treant, Alderash, kind of skids to make a stop, and the other trees just kind of stop and walk forwards and into this open deadland, and you all turn. And sort of like as Eli, you will know that that there were more of them coming towards you. You all turn towards the shadow ivy to expect something to come through, and then you just hear a
It's an angry cow.
Moaning sound coming from the distance. It's an ominous, dark, evil sound that creeps out. It's almost like it's resonating through your heads, and it instantly makes you turn your attention away from the shadow ivy and up towards the dark looming tree in the distance. Its branches almost leaning towards you, and you almost feel like it's on top of you, even though it's about 100 feet away. Its branches almost creep across the sky as they almost touch the clouds and creep through the darkness with the shadows. Then, as you're turning and looking, you notice a dark red slit open across the middle of the tree's trunk, and an eye open up and stare deep at you, almost into your very souls. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Yeah. Oh my god!
So, yeah, we're going to end tonight's sessions there. I really enjoyed the tree on ride through there, I have to say. I was expecting that to be like a quick and done, but I really enjoyed that. As a dungeon master, running a chase scene on Treeback was amazing. So thanks for that, guys.
Do you know what really annoys me?
Cinematography.
Thank you. I like that.
What really annoys me is I've just realised that we spent like the last 3 sessions walking through a forest, and I forgot that I had terrain advantage. I literally just remembered.
Oh, Rob.
Oh.
Womp womp.
But hey, at least now Ralgin got to pose dramatically. That's the important thing.
Yes.
That is.
I
that is
do
the
have a
important-
really good picture of like Raljin sort of like holding onto the tree, like like balancing and the wind blowing through his hair as he stares at the ominous tree in the background. And it's
Looking like goddamn Legolas, while the rest of us are clinging on for dear life.
yeah.
Do you know, it's weird because you all picture him looking really cool. I just picture the beginning of Pirates of the Caribbean where Captain Jack Sparrow's on the sinking ship.
Oh dear. I don't know about actually Sal. You say that, Fran, but Sal actually pulled that off really well. I think Sal became one with the tree.
Sal's good points are that they are good at hiding and surviving.
Yes. I think
Lots of other things they are not good at, and you guys will probably find that out when we go into civilization or anything that involves any sort of strength roll. Until then,
I bet you're really glad that I made it athletics or acrobatics on
oh my
on staying
God,
on the tree.
that was a difference
Yes.
of 10 points.
Oh jeez.
+9 in acrobatics and a -1 in athletics.
Jeez. So yeah, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that session. I certainly did.
yeah.
I certainly did. Really good. So you got to make a new ally, Older Ash, the tender of the impound pasture. Which yeah, I wanted a cool name, and when he was Older Ash, it just sounds good. It sounds like Boulder Dash, but not quite.
I was thinking, like, his name sounds really familiar, and for a moment I thought that there was some great conspiracy and that his name was the same as Ralgin's town, which is a different, like, white word.
That's Ashenoak. Yeah.
Yes,
Ashenoak.
actually, no.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to turn out that he's the personification of the town. And it's gonna be all the way-
No, but
Completely
apparently,
different word.
No, but
apparently my family tree is female.
yes, your family tree is female. She has a spirit.
We'll get to meet her.
Well, you will see. You shall see. But yeah, Older Ash. I just took the name of two trees, an alder and an ash. I just put them
Oh my god!
together.
I've just thought, is Ralgin going to be legitimately a tree hugger?
Yes, I might have to have a season where the Ashenoak, the Fey de Santra, embraces Ralgin.
I'm never going to let him live that down.
Phil,
Yes.
wait till he finds out that he's actually a distant relation of yours truly.
Not everyone. Well, actually,
You blew
Now that
us
I think
all
about
right
it-
into each other.
now that I think about it, I do have a human aunt who is married to an elf. So maybe.
There we go then.
Very possibly. Maybe I'll weave that one in later on, but not today because it's time. I mean, you guys can stick around for more chats after this, but I think in terms of the stream, it's time for us to call it crits. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll be back next week minus a Mulrin, but I'm sure he'll hand his character sheet over to someone else to control him for 1 week. But yeah, for now, for the stream, we'll call it crits, and we'll see everyone next week. Bye, streamers. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.